Welcome to this edition of In-Depth Alaska. I'm John Thompson. With the Supreme Court of the United States upholding the law that would allow for TikTok to be banned, I sat down with John Durding, a social media influencer in Alaska, to find out how the ban could impact him. And here's an extended version of our conversation. There's a lot going on in the world, and we could start by saying Sunday, TikTok is scheduled to go dark in the United States. What are your initial feelings, thoughts, last couple weeks? What have you been going through?
Well, so originally I wasn't thinking it would be quite as serious as it is. I didn't think it was actually going to get banned. I did quit posting as heavily on it about 6 months back because I was too concerned with the severity of the potential ban affecting. So if you're investing a lot of time, like you're posting to something every day, it's taking up your time. If it's going to get removed or deleted, it is really disheartening still posting to that platform. So I kind of lost heart in it quite a while back. But seeing other creators who are still posting every single day on it, and it is their livelihood, it does really hurt seeing it about to disappear without a lot of just cause. Like, we have not seen a single security threat with TikTok. From what I've seen public information, I've not seen a single thing that actually says that they're a threat to our national security. So I think there's not a good reason for it to be banned from what the public is perceived to see.
Like in terms of the Chinese government the information.
TikTok's not even based out of China right now. It's based out of the United States. TikTok is not even an app that you can use in China. They have Douyin. They have the Chinese version of TikTok that they use. So I think it's a lot of politics. I think there's a lot of reasons why they're trying to get rid of it, and it is unfortunate because it's taking away a place where people go to share things that are going on in their life, and a lot of small businesses have had really good success on there, and it sucks to see that going away.
Yeah, a lot of businesses monetize pretty well via TikTok, but we were talking off air a little bit, and you were saying that TikTok isn't necessarily one of the big generators
of revenue.
But
if in terms of ease to go viral, TikTok is still probably one of the kings. So like, think of your mom and pop or your person who doesn't aspire to do social media for a living. They could be posting to TikTok a funny video of their cat or their car or something in the driveway and go mega viral with 100 million views overnight. Right. That ability to go that viral is really kind of a TikTok phenomenon. It does happen some on Instagram, but not like I've seen it happen on TikTok, where it can make people overnight just absolutely famous from its virality. So I don't know if something will replace that or something will rise from the ashes to take that space, but I see a lot of effort from Meta to get rid of TikTok.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit, and there are some big differences between TikTok and the Meta platforms.
Huge differences on what you see trending and what you see streaming. When you get on the For You page on TikTok, it adapts and morphs to what you want to see really, really quickly. The algorithm is what TikTok is. That's what makes TikTok the success that it is because of their algorithm. And it is very unique and quite a bit different than Facebook's algorithm or Instagram's algorithm or even YouTube Shorts algorithm.
Huh. How is that? I'm sorry, but just for the general public who doesn't fully understand, I mean, I get the algorithm part, but what makes TikTok unique?
What makes TikTok unique is I've seen, this might be a little political things go viral that were in favor of either side, and I've seen them in the same few minutes scrolling on the platform, and I didn't see as much, I don't want to say censorship, but I saw a lot of things just going viral that would have probably been stopped from going viral on Facebook or Instagram. So TikTok seemed a little bit more willing to let either side show their colors.
So where are you in terms of monetizing? Where are you seeing the most revenue from?
The most revenue for me,
yeah,
hands down, Facebook and Instagram. Okay. From brand deals, Instagram. From just ad revenue, Facebook. It can be tricky though, because there's a lot of things you have to do to be successful on the platforms, whereas I don't think TikTok's ever paid out that much. Even when I was going mega viral, and there was a time when I got about 150 million views in a single 28 or 30 day period, which let's say it's a month term. And I think their payout for that was like $500 or $600.
Wow.
Now you think about from like a monetization, or you trying to make a living off a platform. If you're making $500 to $1,000 per million, 100 million views plus, that is horrible. Like, that's not going to make you money. That was a little while back. TikTok has updated their monetization strategy to where there's long format monetization. So if you're making longer format content on TikTok, there's a separate monetization path that they now allow people to take, which is a lot better than it used to be. So TikTok has shown that they intend to make it a more monetizable platform for their creators and their users, which is good. I mean, they finally do it, and now they're about to get banned. So,
well, so it sounds like you're not going to be too impacted in terms of.
I won't be
if there is a shift here.
Absolutely not. I will not be impacted almost at all because I have moved so heavily from TikTok months back, and even then, I wasn't making. TikTok was more of my plan of getting my name out there and getting my face out there and trying to go as viral as I could. I didn't care if I made a penny off of it. I'm just trying to go viral. And even with Instagram and Facebook, my goal has always been I'm trying to go viral and build a following. I mean, that's probably a lot different strategy than someone who's posting a certain thing and I follow what's going viral for a lot of the content I make. So if I see something working really well, I'm like, how can I do this in a way that is going to generate better growth?
And let's talk about that a little bit. So, kind of how you got involved. You were active duty military, and
yep.
And we were talking. A lot of kids or a lot of people that are influencers come out of school maybe, or just kind of find a niche. You you had a little different path.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have either a background in filmmaking or some type of like, oh, I've used a camera before.
Right.
I'd never used a DSLR or a drone, anything. I was working night shifts, had like 1,000 followers on Instagram. And that same Instagram account that I've had since I was in high school, it's the same Instagram account that's at like 3.9 million followers right now. So I think, I think my drive to get into it was a lot different than most people's, for sure.
Okay. What's your advice for people that want to dip their toe into the influencer world?
The side of me, if when I've met people who aspire to do it, and you can tell really quickly who's going to actually do it and then who's going to talk about doing it. I think it takes a lot more dedication than a lot of younger people think it takes, and they get really disheartened when maybe their account blows up because they get a viral video and then the next couple of months it's dead again because there's not another viral video and they blame it on the algorithm or something. The reality is, if your content is viral, I'll tell you what, it's going to go viral, period. A lot of these accounts people are saying are shadow banned and stuff. It's not. Your content is just not that good. And I've had to have those conversations with myself a few times where I'm like, what can I change? How can I be more creative? And that's definitely a high pressure thing. I think that for the first year, once I made that commitment in 2020, like I am going to post every day, never miss a day, rain or shine, sickness or health. Once I made that commitment, I started seeing some real success, where things worked, but that comes with a lot of, I think you have to be really stubborn.
Stubborn and consistent,
yeah.
It sounds like. Talk a little bit about, you were telling us about this video here that's been on loop. This is not like a 5-minute video that you just run out and take. I mean,
these are short bits. These are short form. This is short form content in a nutshell, and most of these videos are 15 seconds, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter, but they're what performs the best. People's attention span has dictated that. And it is actually a very low effort on my end to create these videos. I think the more important part is that you're being a little bit choosy with what you post, only posting the things that you think are the best. And that'll help your success if, to anyone out there trying to get into this. It's definitely, you kind of, there's going to be a lot of points where you're posting, you're not really sure if it's the right thing. Just got to keep at it. Hope for the best.
TikTok aside, kind of what are your future plans in terms of how you want to grow this, what you want to do with your platforms?
Well, right now, as much as I am involved with social media and so on, I would be lying if I didn't say I kind of see TikTok ban as also being, in a weird way, a good thing for society, because people do spend too much dang time on their phones. So as someone who needs people to spend time on their phones to make a living, I shouldn't be saying this, but if it's a chance for people to get out there, because what I'm doing when I'm out here doing this, that's real life. When you're smelling the grass, when you're watching these bears, when your hand's in that cold water and you're feeling cold, that's real life. And I wish more people were out living that. And if it meant I didn't make any money off social media, I would be okay with starting something else. Because I love social media, I love filmmaking, but I also think people should be getting out there and living. And trust me, sitting and doom scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or anything is not living.
No. But guys like you may be inspiring someone to go on that adventure, or
Yeah.
people are living vicariously through
I like to
you,
think that's I like to think that's the impact I'm having. I'm sure there's a lot of people who aren't physically able to go do some of these things, and they're watching them, and that I get the comments saying, I would never be able to do this because I'm disabled or something, and I can see where that's super beneficial because it's enabling people to see that unique location or that unique place. But from a societal health standpoint, I think less time, because the average American, I believe, spends 57 minutes per day on Facebook, 53 minutes per day on Instagram, and it was like 49 minutes per day on TikTok. And that's an older study. I'm not quoting recent numbers, so don't quote me on that, but those are just some numbers. So people do, on average, spend a lot of time on these platforms. And I don't think deleting TikTok is going to make people spend less time. They're just going to start spending more time on the other platforms that are still available. So.
But I think that was one of the issues that people thought maybe the Chinese government, in terms of, right?
It's extremely influential.
And just molding young minds.
Yes.
And
choosing what people are seeing, down to the next video you see when you're scrolling. Trust me, there was a lot of thought and algorithm put into feeding you that next video. They want you to like it. They want you to stay on the platform as long as possible. It's an art. I'm a single cog in a machine feeding the machine pieces of media that help them keep their user base engaged permanently. So,
So ultimately, you're not upset that this may be going away.
I'm not.
But at the same time, you need to monetize, and people are going to shift.
Yep.
So it's just kind of a...
I see it as
the world keeps turning.
It's evolving. The situation is evolving. I want to show some reverence, though, for the people who are going to be financially impacted by it being removed. At the same time, though, a lot of the younger people I've seen who really want to get into doing social media, and this goes out to anyone who wants to get into it. Whenever you're sharing things with the world, it's hard. You want to know you're having a good impact on other people, especially going viral at this capacity, hundreds and hundreds of millions of views. You want to know for sure you're not having a negative impact on society. And I don't know that for sure. And that bothers me sometimes. I think I am, and people tell me I am, because my content's not like, dancing in a garage or doing something crazy, Like it could be way worse. I could have like a feetandmore.com website or something, but I don't. That's only for the subscribers. No.
Right.
The reality of it, though, is it is a little hard to know you're doing something that's beneficial as a whole. Because like when I was in the service and I had a job and I knew what my goal was for the day, or what my troops are doing, or what the mission was for the week, or what vehicles we were rolling out, because I was a diesel mechanic on night shift, you had a purpose and you know what your impact is. On social media, it's a lot harder to know what your impact is and how you're affecting, society as a whole. You don't really know. And especially as someone who doesn't have a background, I'm not a social media expert. I am a night shift mechanic who is really stubborn and got lucky with social media, and I don't come from money. I come from a farm where I was barefoot my whole childhood. So it's not something that I think I'm a natural at. I think it's something that I have a lot to learn on, and a lot I can do better, but it's just hard knowing. You don't know that you're having a good impact.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming in. Is there anything else that you wanted to express or say?
With the TikTok ban, it is a little annoying seeing the hundreds or potentially thousands of videos I have physically loaded and thinking about all the time I've put into that. Yeah. And then all the content that's been there and got me to the point where I am now, where it's my full-time job, and it was a little hard to see that potentially disappear overnight.
Like your baby.
Yeah, it's like I've put so much time into this. There was a time when I was posting every day on here, just like I was on all my other channels for over a year, maybe 2 years, because I started all this in 2020. And it makes me feel a little bit less sure about the other platforms that I'm on. It makes me think, like, if these just disappeared, how quickly would I be willing to use my military GI Bill and go become a pilot or something? And trust me, if this ever disappears, I'll be on that bandwagon tomorrow. And I won't feel bad about it. I like work. I like contributing. And I think this has its time. Social media has its time. I don't know if it's going to be around forever, so just rolling with it.
Yeah, roll with it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, John. Appreciate
Awesome.
you coming down. Thank you for listening to In Depth Alaska. Please like and subscribe to this podcast.